So if you want to feel free to sit on a block or a cushion to raise your hips slightly higher than your knees if you want to. We'll come into our seated position. So you get your legs crossed, maybe having with the heels out and the knees down towards the floor, and just settle yourself in. And now I'm going to ask you to actually recross your legs in the opposite direction. So we've always got a habit way. So just explore what it feels like now to recross them the opposite way around. And I'm going to ask you to sit like this for our settling in. So just notice if it feels a bit different. And just taking now a soft gaze in front of you. And taking a few big inhales through the nose. And open mouth exhale. And now closing down the eyes and just bringing your attention inwards. Noticing the sit bones pressing down, the contact that you're making with the mat, and the height of the body reaching up tall. Maybe seeing if you can stretch that spine a little bit taller. Deep breath in, steady breath out. And we'll take some strong, purposeful breaths now to warm up our intercostal muscles. Energizing the body as we do so. So inviting you to find your Ujjayi breath if you want to by slightly constricting the muscles of your throat, so slightly contracting them to make the sound a bit like an ocean. What this does, it begins to warm up all those muscles inside our chest, inside our body. And throughout our practice today, see if you can return to that Ujjayi breath. If you notice the mind has wandered off, just seeing if you can really return to that breath. Now, blinking the eyes open, we're going to start by just warming up the wrists. So start by really making tight fists and then flicking the hands out. We're going to do this all the way up above our head. So stretching up tall, really putting some effort and energy, tight fists and big flick out. Really pumping blood up to those wrists. Keep going. As we inhale, we're going to take an inhale over to one side, reach over, keep pumping the arms. Good, and then all the way over to the other side. Keep going. Okay, we're going to keep them up high. They might be starting to hurt, but keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, keep going, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Release them down. Give yourself a big hug. So cross the arms over. Stretch out the shoulders. Good. Release out. Inhale. And then exhale, fold the arms the other way, opposite direction. Good. Release down. Okay, roll forwards now. We'll come into a tabletop position. So coming to a tabletop position on the floor, making sure that your wrists are below your shoulders and the knees are below the hips. We're just going to take some time now just to roll over the wrists, walk up the hips. So just seeing how your body wants to move right now. So maybe taking a twist of the spine. Really important to take some weight onto the wrists here. Maybe noticing if you can take the pressure into each of your fingertips as you roll round. Good. Now bring the hands back towards the knees slightly and reverse the hands. The fingers are facing your knees. We're going to stretch out the backs of the wrists. So take your weight backwards and stretch out the wrists here. Just take a few breaths. Good. Turn the hands back round to the front and we'll come into some cat-cows. So just making sure that you're set up. And then inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, look forwards. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, bring the chin down to the chest. Push the mat away from you. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Take the shoulder blades now down your back. As you exhale, navel to the sky, shoulder blades broadening. One more, inhale. And exhale, really notice how the spine's moving here. Good. Okay, now you're placing your elbows where your hands were. We're going to come down into our puppy pose. So walk the hands away from you slightly. And then we're going to drop the chest down towards the floor. So really opening out the shoulders here. So repositioning maybe where you're facing your head to feel that stretch in your shoulders. That's good. Great, Helen, well done. Sink the hips back a little bit. Okay, inhale, come forwards. Come back into our tabletop position. And we're going to tuck the toes under and just hover the knees off the floor, engaging the core here. So strong hold of the core. So just hovering the knees, making sure the shoulders are directly above the wrists. Making the cat back as we do this. So shoulder blades are broad and coming down the sides of the body. Next, long. Great, well done. Hold it there. Okay, drop the knees down. We'll come back. We'll come into our first downward dog here. So with the toes tucked under, take some weight backwards towards the heels. Push into the hands and lift up. Keeping the knees bent to start with. So we'll find a good downward dog position. So bend the knees quite a lot. So you inhale, lift the sit bones to the sky. Make the back long. So look down between your knees towards the ankles. And then as you exhale, bring those heels down towards the floor. Maybe paddling them out a bit. So your hands are shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width apart, heels ever so slightly turned out. Good, come to find some stillness. So just as you inhale, concentrating on getting those sit bones to the sky. Exhale, chest down towards the thighs. Relax the neck. Relax the muscles of your face. Find that Ujjayi breath. Good, we'll come down now down onto the knees just to rest for a moment. Turn the hands over, fingertips facing towards one another. And just make some little fists here, just to massage the back of the wrists. Good, great, well done. Okay, turn them back over. We're going to come into a high plank now. So lifting up onto the feet, onto the toes. Finding a high plank. So the shoulders, really important now, must be stacked over the wrists. Tuck the tailbone under to support your lower back. Shoulder blades rolling down towards the armpits. Tummy tucked. So tuck tailbone, tummy tight, broad shoulders. Making our cat. So inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to just bend the knees and push back up into our downward dog. I'm going to begin to roll through the spine here. So as you inhale, round the back, tuck the tummy tight, come over into a high plank. Great, good, Tom. Exhale, bend your knees, push back into a downward dog. Straighten the legs, great, good, Kate. Inhale. It's a variation of our down dog and our cat-cow. Good, push back up into downward dog. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to walk the hands up towards the feet. So take some small steps, walk up, keep folded over in that folded over position. Good, we're going to just take hold of both elbows here and hang
Hang yourself forward. So bend your knees, relax the back. And as you inhale, tuck the chin in, use the core to bring you all the way up to standing.
Roll the shoulders down and back away from the ears. Good. Big toes together, an inch gap between your heels. We're going to come into our first sun salutation now. So plant the feet firmly on the floor. Really feel connected with the floor. Zip up through your core. So the core is tight. Shoulders roll down and back. Palms facing forwards. Just close your eyes here for a moment. Find that breath. Blink the eyes open and we'll begin. So inhale, look to the fingertips, stretch, look up tall. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Fingertips come either side of the feet. Bend the knees a lot here, chest to thighs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands either side of the feet. Bend the knees a lot. Big step back to the back of the mat. Into high plank. Inhale. Then exhale, drop the knees, lower down chaturanga. So keep the elbows in here. All the way down to the tummy's flat on the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale, come up to cobra. So use your shoulder blades here to bring you up. Send the shoulder blades down your back. Good. Stretch out the front of the tummy. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes and push the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Well done, everyone. Good. Take a few breaths here. Sit bones high on the inhale. Chest down towards the knees on the exhale. Excellent. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the right leg high to the sky behind you. Straight right leg. Inhale. As you exhale, bring that knee to the chest. Tuck the tummy in and place that foot between your hands. So we want the feet like on train tracks here. So both feet are facing forward. We're up on the heel of the back foot. Inhale, come up to the knee. Find your balance. And then bring the hands all the way up. So our crescent lunge. So it's important here to have a tilt of the pelvis, tuck the tailbone under so you're not sinking out to that lower back. Lift the chest, reach up high. Exhale, bring the hands down either side. Take the foot back and we're going to lower down. So option to drop the knees here or to keep in your high plank and chaturanga down, body in one long line with control. Good. Untuck the toes. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Push back up to our downward dog. Straight into the next side. Left foot high. Lift it high, point the toes. Inhale. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest. Look between the hands. Place that foot between the hands. Great, Kate. Good. Inhale, come up to the knee. Find your balance. Bring the hands all the way up, either side of the ears. Tuck the pelvis, lift the chest up towards the sky. Great. Exhale, lower down, foot back, find that high plank. Now keep the forearms vertical. So take your weight forward and see if you can chaturanga down with vertical forearms. Good. Untuck the toes. Inhale, come up. Have a bend in the knees here so the shoulder blades are down the back, not straight arms. Bring the shoulder blades down. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, drive the hips up and back. Well done, everyone. Take a few breaths here. Good. Okay, take that right leg high again. So right leg high. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck it tight into the chest. Put it down in front of you, maybe coming straight up into your lunge this time. So chest facing forwards. Good. Then as you inhale, drop that back foot 90 degrees. Take the hands out in a T position. Keep the front leg bent. Good. Inhale, take the right elbow down to the right knee. Left hand comes up. And now I want you to bring that left hand back. Normally we go high, but I want you to open up the shoulder, really lift the chest up towards the sky. Good. Well done. Exhale, come up, and then inhale, reach back. So we're going to reverse that lunge. Your big inhale. And then exhale, we're going to windmill the hands down. Take the left hand back, come up to the toes of the ball of the back foot. And now we're going to spin. So we're going to take both little toes down to the mat. So maybe staying here, maybe walking that right foot to the middle of the mat, and maybe finding high plank. So take this left shoulder away from you, lift the hips high. Great, well done. Hold it there and breathe. Good, exhale, hands down, find your high plank. Roll forwards, then chaturanga. Make sure those forearms stay vertical all the way down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, drive the hips up and back. Good, take a few breaths. You can always drop the knees here for a moment if you're feeling tired in your arms. Good, take the left leg high to the sky, big inhale. Exhale, bring that knee in, tight to the chest, place it between the hands. Come up, straight up into a high lunge. Inhale, really open up the chest. Good. So you exhale, back leg drops a 90-degree angle on that foot. Hands out in a T position. Inhale, take the left arm down to the thigh, bring then the right hand up and over. Good. Great, now take that arm back. Lift the chest, really open up that top shoulder. Well done. Good. Inhale, come up, we'll reverse. Stretch out the other side of the body. And as we exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Taking the weight now onto the right foot, spin onto the right back toes, and take both little toes down to the floor. Okay, well, maybe walking that left leg down towards the middle of the mat, maybe coming into side plank on this side. Lift those hips, steady your breath. That's it, exhale, come back down to a high plank, roll forwards. Let's look for a really slow, controlled chaturanga. Tummy tight, lower down, slow as you can, good. Maybe as you hover in chaturanga, you can untuck the toes, come up into up dog. So my legs don't touch the mat here. Exhale, lower down, roll back up to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Good. Inhale, roll forwards onto the toes, high plank. One more chaturanga all the way down. Good, untuck the toes, bring the body flat. From here, we're going to come into a half bow position. So take your right hand, take hold of the right foot. Then the left hand is pushing down into the mat, just by your shoulder. So you inhale, lift your chest up and take the foot away from you. So force that foot away from you, stretching open the front side of the right body. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale, lower down, swap sides. Take hold of the left foot. Big inhale, push down with the chest. Pubic bone pushing down into the floor. Foot pushing away from the body. Great, release down. Tuck the toes under. Come up onto the knees. We're going to come back into our downward dog. So finding a strong downward dog here. Equal sort of spread of weight over all those fingers. Palm of the hand into the floor. Should be 50% of the weight in your hands here, 50% of the weight in your feet. Take a few breaths. Exhale now, bend the knees. Look between the hands. I'm going to take a big jump between the fingers. Take the hips high. Good, look to where you want to land. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Cup of coffee on your back, staying stable. Good. Exhale, lower down, chest to thighs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing using your core. Look to the fingertips. Urdhva Hastasana. Then exhale, release the hands down. Okay, we're going to come into our dancer pose. Now we did bow, so we're going to do dancer now. So come step back to the middle of your mat. Have a quick drink if you want one. As we transition into this next part. You're doing really well. Awesome. Okay, so find a strong base now for that left foot. Slightly bend the knee. Perhaps lift up and replant the toes of that left foot. Good. Now we're going to take hold of the right foot. Bring the hand to the heart. And just like we did on the floor, so you inhale, push that foot away from you. Find a gaze point in front of you and see if you can find your dancer pose. So find balance, core strong. Lift the knee up, great. That's great, Tom. Looking good. Well done, Michelle. Nice concentration there. Find that drishti point. Good. From here, we're going to take both hands down to the floor, lift the right foot high to the sky for our standing splits. So option to stay here, or option to just practice taking some weight onto our hands for our handstand. So you might want to just take the weight up, swap the feet. So just have a little play, taking the hips high, swapping the feet in the sky. See if you can find some holding time there in the sky. Good. Excellent. Or option to keep the splits there. Good. And we'll drop the back foot. We'll all come back into a downward facing dog. So finding your dog. Good. Take a few breaths. From here now, we're going to keep working on that right leg. So take the right leg high to the sky. Now bend that right knee to open up the right hip. So let the foot be heavy behind you. And then we're going to take that foot behind us. So come onto the side of the left foot into our wild thing, and then lift the hips high. So really force those hips up and high. Good. Really feel open here in the chest. Wonderful. Good. Exhale, come round back down. Find your high plank. Strong chaturanga all the way down with control. Untuck the toes. Inhale, come up, maybe to up dog. Great, Shelley. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Drive the hips up and back. You're doing really well. Excellent. Left foot, high to the sky. Big inhale. So you exhale, bend that knee. Really open up the hip. Then coming onto the side of the right foot, little toe side, bring the left foot behind you and lift up to the hip. Stretch the hand up. Really feel open here. Good. And then return back round. Find your high plank. And chaturanga slowly all the way down. Good. And tuck the toes. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. And then tuck the toes, push the hips up and back. Well done, everyone. Really good. Bring the knees down to the floor. Untuck the feet and just slowly come back into a child's pose. So bringing the forehead down to the floor. Take a few breaths here. Notice how you're feeling. Notice where the mind is. And now walking the hands. I'm going to come into a hero pose. So just kneeling here. Place the hands on the knees. Close the eyes and just notice the body. The breath, maybe the energy that's here. Good. So option now to plant the feet and come to practice our crow pose. We've been practicing the last few weeks, or to come into Malasana. So you can tuck the toes, push up. So if you're coming into a crow pose, walk the feet in, place the hands, the fingers spread wide. And we're going to bend the arms and take the knees onto the backs of the arms. So get a good fixing with those fingers, fingertips pushing down into the floor. Take the balance forward, look forwards, and find your crow. Should be a lot easier now we've warmed up all those muscles. Good. All come into Malasana. So our yogi squat. So just practice opening up the hips, working those heels down. Try again, Tom. It's good. That's it, Kate. Looking really good. That's good weight forwards. Well done, Shirley. Good. Excellent. Okay, and we'll all, wherever we are, we'll come back to meet in our downward facing dog. Working really hard tonight. Well done. Okay, from our downward dog, we're going to come into a dolphin. So we're going to lower the forearms down to the floor. Keep the hips high. Okay, so notice what this feels like. It might be quite challenging if there's tightness in the shoulders. So staying here is fine. Option to try and walk the feet a little bit further in and take the hips high. And then come in down to a dolphin push-up. So chin down towards your thumbs. Then push yourself in with your elbows, hips high. So lower down, chin to thumbs, push back up. Good. So if you're practicing pincher, now is a time maybe where you want to perhaps walk the hands in and perhaps take some weight up into your pincher pose. Or if you've got headstand, have a go at headstand, interlace the fingers. So sorry, take hold of the outside edges of your elbows, interlace the fingers, full head, well, top crown of the head down towards the floor. Get a good grounding with those shoulders and really sort of push into the shoulders now to really bring the elbows together, core tight, lift the hips high, and then perhaps taking one leg and the other leg up into a balance. Maybe finding a headstand. Have a little play. Great, Katie, well done. That's great, Helen, well done. That's it, Kate, hips as high as you can. Perfect. That's it, one leg. Yes, Kate. Good. Michelle, that's great. Don't kick, just slowly bend the knee in towards the bottom. Well done. Looking good, Sharon. Oh, it's fine. Are you okay? I can't quite see your screen. There we go. That's it. Lovely. Okay. Great. So meeting back again in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Okay, good. From here, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to take the weight forward and then jump and land into our seated cross-leg position. So we're looking to take the hips high. So as you bend, hips forward, land lightly, and come down. Great, good. Bring the legs out in front of you. We'll come into our boat pose. Just to work on our core a little bit while we're here. So bring the toes in, hands underneath the knees, chest high. So lift the chest. Inhale, maybe bring the shins parallel with the floor. Good. Take the hands off. Look above the toes. Good. Squeeze the legs tightly together now and see if you can straighten out the legs. Keep the chest high. Great. Good core strength. Hold it there. Smile. And release down. Well done, everyone. That's really good. Okay, we're now going to just come down onto the floor. So hold the shins. We're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. So slowly rolling down. We'll come into our bridge pose. So to counterbalance all our folding forwards. So bring the soles of the feet so that your fingers are just touching the back of the soles of the feet, knees bent. And just notice for a moment what it feels like to be in a lying down posture. Maybe there's some release here. Good. Take an inhale, fill the lungs with air. And as you exhale, tuck the pelvis and drive the hips up. Good, take the hips up towards the sky. Squeeze the glutes. Bring the knees together. Watch the knees aren't splayed out to the side. Squeeze the knees. Good. Towards one another, not together, but just towards one another. Good. Exhale, release down. Good. We'll do that once more. Inhale, fill the chest. And as you exhale, have that tilt of that pelvis, lift the hips up. And maybe wriggling the shoulders underneath each other now. And interlacing the fingers. Pushing the hands down to the floor to perhaps lift your hips a little bit higher, getting a deeper back bend. Great. Just breathe, relax the neck. Okay. Release the fingers. Slowly roll down the spine. Good. And we're going to hug the knees in here. So hugging the knees in. Perhaps taking the knees wide. And then bringing them together. Okay, now we're going to come into either a happy baby pose with our taking hold of the hands on both feet, or into a plow pose. So if you're coming into plow, push the floor away from you, lift the bottom up, take the legs out behind you, hands under your hips. Relax the neck. Good, Kate, good. Just allow the breath to be steady here. So you can bend the knees if that's more comfortable. So just notice your breath here. Close the eyes for a moment. An option to come into a shoulder stand if you want to wiggle your elbows closer together to support the hips. Bring the legs, the knees bent, so the heels come into your bottom, and then slowly push the feet up. Good. Squeeze the knees together. Squeeze the thighs together. Good, Tom. That's great, Helen. Sit, reach up. Relax the neck here. Watch the neck isn't sort of squashed too much. Good. Exhale, bend the knees first as we come down. So bend the knees towards the forehead. Take the hands down then to roll down slowly. Great. Bring the feet to the floor. Take an inhale and an exhale. So from here, we're going to take the hands out wide in a T position. I want you to lift the hips up slightly by pushing down into your heels and take them over to the left-hand side. And then we're going to take the knees, fall them down towards the left-hand side to get a stretch here. So the hips have gone the same side as the knees to get a deeper stretch. So look out towards the right hand now. Inhale and exhale. Feel the spine twisting. Maybe take hold of that top knee with your hand to deepen the stretch. Inhale, bring the knees back in, hug the knees together. Feet down to the floor. Push into the feet to lift the hips slightly over to the right hand side. And then we'll lower the knees down to the right hand side, looking out towards the left. Keeping that left shoulder down to the mat. And just release. So notice if you're holding tension anywhere, and just allow every part of your body just to release and relax here. Inhale, hug the knees in. Give yourself a really big hug. Exhale, bring the feet down to the floor. And we're going to just settle ourselves down for a Shavasana now. So maybe stretching out the legs one at a time. Having a little tilt of the pelvis to get the lower part of your back to the floor. And now just taking the shoulders down slightly. So as best you can, roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Taking the hands either side of the body, palms face up. And allowing the feet to fall away from one another. Allowing all the muscles of the face now to relax and soften. The eyes to feel heavy. So closing the eyes and allowing the jaw to relax. Maybe the jaw parts slightly and the tongue hangs soft. Being curious how the skin on your face moves as you do this. Now noticing all the sounds around you. All of the sounds surrounding you. Now bringing all of your attention to notice your body lying here. Being aware of all the contact points that you're making with the mat. So where is your body in contact with the floor? Noticing the feet. Any tingling or fizzing in the feet. And spreading your awareness now up through the body to notice the ankles, the shins, the knees, the thigh bones. Holding both legs here. Just noticing all the lower half of your body. Maybe there's heaviness, maybe there's lightness. Letting go of attention now in the legs and bringing your awareness up through the body. So noticing the tummy, the spine, the chest. And now dividing your attention as you get to the shoulders and bringing it down both arms at the same time. Noticing the biceps, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, and the hands. Noticing each finger in turn. Now bringing your attention all the way back up through the arms to the neck and the back of the head. Noticing all the muscles in your face, the eye sockets, the forehead, and the scalp. All the follicles of hair on your scalp. Now gathering all of your attention and bringing it to rest on your breath. So the natural rhythm of your breath as it enters and leaves the body. being curious about how the body moves as you breathe. Expanding your awareness now to notice the whole body lying here. I'm grateful for all the movement and the practice that it's just done. Now just taking a slightly bigger inhale, filling the lungs with fresh energy, fresh oxygen. And an open mouth exhale here, just expelling anything that you don't need anymore. So anything maybe that you're holding on to that you don't need, letting that go. Now gently wriggling toes and fingers, bringing the arms up above your head for a really big stretch. Tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Really feeling the sides of the body stretch. And now hugging the knees in here, giving yourself a big hug. Big hug like you really mean it. Your body's worked hard the last 45 minutes. Now rolling over onto your side in a fetal position, keeping your eyes closed and just using your hands to support your head. And just noticing how you're feeling right now. Noticing where your mind is. Noticing your breath. And now slowly bringing yourself all the way up to seated. Coming to sit maybe in a cross-legged position, facing the camera, facing the screen. Keeping the eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Take the hands out either side and we'll take a big inhale, reach the hands up. Take the face up towards the hands and bring the palms together, bringing them all the way down to the chest, thumbs to the chest. And we'll blink the eyes open. And thank you ever so much, everybody, for sharing that practice this evening. Well done. You worked really hard. You did really well. Feel free to unmute yourselves or just to leave. Thank you so much for joining. Well done. You did super well because of some hard parts in that.
Thanks, Jo.
Well done. Really good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Have a lovely evening. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
That was brilliant, Jo. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Damn hard work, mind.
Parts of that was quite challenging, but I went